Mr. Netherline?
Here.
Mr. Nico? Mr. James?
Here.
Mr. Nixon?
Here.
Mr. Moore? Ms. Gross?
Here.
And Mr. DePaul?
Okay, we have one. Any public comment? None?
I have. I guess now's the time, public comment about the budget. Okay, a couple things I noticed. Web hosting. This is on the proposed budget, so I don't know what you guys came up with, but I gotta mention it now, I guess. Web hosting at $1,800. Is that for a website, which we don't have?
No, it's for our name that we get every 5 years.
What name? The domain name?
WestEastonborough.org.
You pay $1,800 for that?
Yeah.
You shouldn't pay more than $7 a year. Who are you paying this to?
They're making us a website, so that's what we're paying this year.
They're making you a website, so,
Yeah.
but there's no cost for the design?
No.
But they're charging $1,800 for the domain name?
Well,
You guys-
we're paying the domain name, it's all together in one fee. We're paying the domain name for another 5 years, and they're gonna put together a front page that people can click on.
Sorry, I thought I lowered this.
They're gonna put on a front page that people can, get information.
How many pages, do you have any information on the website, how many pages this is going
Not
to be?
right at this moment, no.
Well, how can you sign a contract, you don't know what you're getting?
I know what I'm getting, I just don't have it in front of me.
You don't know how many pages to the website, you're talking about a landing page.
I'm talking about a page that's gonna have just information that they'll be able to click, boom, the recycling calendar comes up, click, boom, several different ordinance that people always request come up, click, boom, home inspection things that come through the borough quite often.
And this is going to be $1,800 every 5 years.
Yeah. No, the first time, it's what we're paying,
For the
is to
design,
have it
sometimes
designed.
for the design, right?
And then the information is renewed every 5 years for the domain name.
Okay, but you don't get charged any extra for that
Yeah.
design?
One time.
Okay. Also on the budget was $60,000 for a proposed new position of a secretary/manager. When was this proposed?
I don't know, Dan Paul brought it up several times. And they demanded it to be in the budget.
What do you think you're gonna pay for a borough manager?
I don't know. What would I pay for a borough manager that only had a borough open 4 days a week?
Well,
What's
maybe
that?
if we had a manager, it would be open more often. Right now, we have a part-time worker and a temp.
That's our top figure, and that's not our.
I hope that's the top figure.
That's yeah. We base
I
that
think you
on.
better look around and check to see what other municipalities are paying.
For a borough this size, maybe I will, because I can't believe they're paying $60,000, Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we paid $38,000 for a person that we wasted $38,000.
And that was in 2006.
Because he wasn't competent, and the council, the committee that hired him, it was a problem all the way after that. It cost us more money than that $38,000 too.
Well, I agree that you guys should have a borough manager.
Oh, absolutely.
I just think $60,000 for this borough is way too much to absorb.
well, that's what the going rate is.
Tom,
But-
don't give me that was the going rate.
Hey, listen,
Hey,
you know what, I just want to bring this up.
This is
Bring up wherever you want.
This is a
Yeah,
comment.
but what
section.
this here's comment is right. And right away, you're jumping off the gun that we're paying $60,000.
That's what you got proposed in the budget.
Well, I'm gonna have enough.
Figures.
We have to pay healthcare if we are
I'm
whoever
going
we
your
get.
figures. So if
Yeah.
you're paying healthcare, then reduce the price of what you're paying this guy.
Nobody's even getting paid that much. It's just the top end. It's budgeted, it's set aside for it. It's not set in stone.
When we did the budget, Matt, when the committee did the budget, we kind of looked at the different boroughs and the surrounding area, and then we picked a figure, top figures. So that's where we went with that.
Well, I hope you're comparing apples to apples. I mean, we've got 1,200 1,200 people in this borough.
But the job, it remains the same, or whether there's, 5 people in the borough, or there's 30,000 people in the borough.
I think that is-
Responsibilities are still the same, so that person is still responsible to run the office in the day-to-day operations.
Okay, so he's not pleased with that, let's move on, please. Just comment.
Maybe I still want to comment on
Keep
that.
going, I said please move on.
Well, you said I'm not pleased with it. But let me finish, please. I have my 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, right?
It's almost up, so.
Yeah, well, he took about 30 seconds of it, so maybe I'll just stand here and say nothing.
It's up to you.
Now, what's the carryover on the budget that we found out? The carryover from this year to 2015.
I don't have that figure.
All right, guys, all I can tell you is I hope your numbers are right, because you're voting on something that you're approving, and if you're audited and it's wrong, you're all saying it's right, and you're all going to be held responsible. I don't know how you can approve a budget tonight if you don't know what the carryover is. So I'm saying, now I'm done, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? Okay. We have our budget that was advertised, it was available for review. The motion to pass the budget as proposed.
I motion to pass the budget as proposed.
Second.
A motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Nottling, to pass the 2015 budget. All in favor? Opposed? Do you say it?
I'm just opposed because I kind of agree with that gentleman. At the last meeting, we were going to have a number, you know what I mean? Like, we discussed that at the meeting, and we were going to have a number knowing where we were heading and what we had, and there's no number. And the head of our finance committee doesn't have the number. And at that meeting, that's who was going to come up with the number. I mean,
It wasn't your last meeting either.
The motion passes the 4-1. Mayor's report.
Definitely, the number, what we're going to start the year off is important. So, I'd like to know what that is myself. There's a young lady and a mother in the borough. They're raising money to buy a van for this individual. She has autism and Tourette's syndrome. And there's a nice article in the Express, I believe. And there's a, maybe our blogger would want to put this in his blog. How to help raise money for this van for this little girl and her mother. I think the mother had a heart problem too.
Kidneys.
Kidney
Or
problem.
liver, kidneys.
Well, she had a problem. So they need us to transport her around the area. The name is Ann Mulrooney, and they have a place to send donations to. Haley's Helpers, care of PNC Bank, 331 3rd Avenue, Alpha, New Jersey, 08865. Donations can be made online. The gmail.com, it's Haley's Helpers at gmail.com, or call 908-213-1392. And I think it's something that is
well deserved for a situation that's very tough. I believe she's a single mother too, isn't she?
Her husband passed away.
Her husband passed away.
Mhm.
So, and they're trying to get enough money for a van. So, whatever, you know, I saw this in the paper and I made sure that I did my donation, and I think put it out there so that the people that do read these blogs, there's a lot of good things could come from blogs, and there's a lot of bad things come from blogs. That's my opinion, and I can have that opinion. But this here is a good thing, and I'd like to see it publicized. If we could publicize it on the fire situation, it'd be good too. So basically, that's all I have this evening. But again, to the budget, I would think that we should have that number, so we know exactly where we are. That's it.
Anything from the solicitor?
No.
Unfinished business? New business? Motion to adjourn?
Make the motion.
All in favor? Motion by Mr. Notley, second by Mr. James. Adjourned.